Good evening, everyone. I am Rajrita Nath. Welcome to day 5 of DSC OMG. After a 4-day roller coaster ride with mobile, web, machine learning, cloud, DevOps, and security, we are now back today to celebrate the contributions and achievements of DSC as a community and showcase some of their incredible projects. Today is a day to celebrate the plethora of talents, the array of skills, and the people behind these solutions. We see your tweets and support, and we are very thankful for the love that you've given us for these 4 days and even today. And we are sure that you're looking forward to the lineup of speakers that we have today. We start this evening with someone who has been leading a team of creative enthusiasts to enable them and encourage them towards the path of digital growth. A person with a true passion towards solving real world problems. We have with us Nikhil Raichur, the community manager at DSC India, for a session on Connect, Build, and Inspire. Over to you, Nikhil.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Thank you, Rajrita, for a great introduction. Probably this is a very special moment for me today to be live and talking on the massive online mega gathering. Thank you once again for introducing. So yeah, so firstly, thank you so very much for everybody to join in and to make this event really so happening and successful. There's so much effort behind it that has made it look super great. I've been listening about the kind of sessions that are happening across the globe from my friends and colleagues. That it's all great, and they're so happy to look through all these sessions. And finally, thank you so much for having me today. So the thing that I'm going to speak today is about the communities connecting, build, and inspiring. So it's all about the journey and my experience across the developer student clubs in India. Let's get started. Also, before I begin, so am I audible to all of you? Cool. Great. So let's get started. So let me quickly introduce myself in a very brief way. I did my my tech journey started with my BC as a degree, and after that, like during my same bachelor degree, I was a Google student ambassador, one of the Google community program then, where we had a chance to be the liaison between Google and the university. It was fabulous talking about various Google products and also going around our locality to help out people and help them understand the power of internet. So that was really massive, and that's when my journey with these communities started. And yeah, it also helped me understand my passion towards technology, and I was always inclined towards cloud computing. I did my master's back from the UK, and yeah, that was a really amazing journey as well. So I came back, and it was a great time for me to look at the experiences that I was looking at people, like to spend their day-to-day life. So there were so many gaps that I wanted to build. So with help of my friends, I built like my own startup called as Jellycone, where I spent about 3.5 years. And altogether, this community and the passion towards technology has brought me, and today I'm part of a Google Devil that gives me opportunity to work along with thousands of student developers and professionals across India, and also connect with more professionals across the globe. So let's get started. So firstly, a big thank you to all of you for the amazing developer student clubs, OMG. Like I don't really know. So should we be still calling it a gathering? Because this has made it this has made me say that it's not just online mega gathering. It's, oh my God, I've become super expressive about it, and there's definitely like so much amazingness, and excitement around it. Yeah, like I feel the same, and I know like some of you definitely feel the same as well. Yeah, well, that has a reason behind it, and I'm like so happy and glad to be here, like to walk you all through that. And let's get started. So, over a span of 5 days, the efforts of collaborating remotely across multiple teams have, like, seamlessly driven the massive online mega gathering today. Because there are like 200 leads across 120 cities. So just imagine the kind of coordination that is needed because all of them are remote and they're not beside each other. But still, but still, they were able to put together they were able to put together a 5 days of amazing event with 7+ tracks, 20+ sessions, 10+ projects, and across one amazing country. So and the impact has been okay. And the impact has been like there were more than 2 million people reached on Twitter, more than 9,000 badges claimed, and over 11,000 plus YouTube views from 4,000 plus registrations and 1,500 social media followers. I mean, my heart is like, wow, so amazing for all of this. The impact, the journey, all of this has brought into such a huge wall of success, and everybody is happy about it. Congratulations to the whole team of developer student clubs and their core teams for making it possible. Once again, congratulating all the leads and the speakers who made it possible. So basically, all of this happened over a span of 18 months. Let me walk you through the journey, and definitely when there's such a huge effort coming in, it's not 1 day or 2 day job. It all started from the way when uh, the leads were onboarded in the month of January 2019, and today, like they've been seeing an amazing growth, and OMG has been the perfect celebration. The various developer student clubs which build DSC India and reach out to thousands of students all over the country. So here's what they've been doing since 2019, and I'm so happy to speak about it today. So it's like they've been able to train thousands of students across the universities and regions. They've introduced power of technology to solve problems because most of the students are always about I need to do something, but where do I start with? I think DSCs definitely give them a platform to explore themselves and introduce that piece of technology where they could utilize it and build those solutions. They evangelized open source and Google technologies to build better solutions. And in a matter of time, I think you will also witness some super awesome projects that have been built by like various students across these clubs. They have also impacted lives by building hundreds of amazing projects and hosting workshops. One gateway for all the projects to come in one line. And for sure, they've created stories that are inspiring all of us today. And always must say this, they've expressed the unity of beautiful communities coming together. Here are like few inspiring stories like going through projects, sessions, workshops, and of course some amazing travel diaries. I must say, like I personally enjoyed going to more than 20+ cities, meeting like about 30+ DSC leads and their like super beautiful core teams. They're so inspiring to me basically because it's not about the new city, it's also about the culture and the kind of passion all these teams have. And I feel myself to be very lucky enough to be working with all these hundreds of leads and their core teams. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very happy about it. So with that, let me introduce my amazing community in front of you. This is how it looks like: vibrant, colorful, and super energetic. So yeah, so get like just let's remember one thing. So it's one beautiful world. Let's connect, build, and inspire. Thank you. Well, and also to all the people on the back stage, and also all the 200s of you and your co-teams, wishing you all the very best for today's last session, like last one day of OMG. I'm sure it's going to be great, and all of you will enjoy it.
Hi, Nikhil. It was a great presentation, I must say, and it is very nice talking to you after a long time.
For
So,
sure.
I have a question from the audience. Like, I'm just asking, when are you? Oh, like currently we have 200 leads in India right now. So, are you thinking of onboarding new leads in future?
Yes, for sure. I think the like my answer to this was like we had already floated out the new set of applications and called in uh, new students to on like sign into this program so that they can express their interest. They're going through various steps of getting onboarded. Soon the results are to be out.
Oh, that's nice. So, what are your plans like in future about DSC? Like, how what should students expect in near future? Like, as technology is changing rapidly, so what are the new plans here? Like,
I'm sure. I think if I should be speaking about plans, DSC OMG is something that we already started with. So we never expected, because like most of the time it has always been like the campus and the region, but this is the first ever time I think all the DSCs have come together in such a huge gathering that it has also given us a perspective of wide vision of what can happen when all these people come together. So yeah, it all evolves around and more into collaborative approach of solving problems going forward.
that's nice. So, how I've got a question. Like, how was GSA program different from DSC? Like Google Student Ambassador that you were in back in 2013.
Well, yeah. So I think that was the first touch towards uh, one such Google program that I came across. So it was all about multiple Google products and getting to know them, letting people know about them, going around and helping people about, hey, I think you should explore Google Maps. That can help you find what are things around you. You should also explore Google Search. That's one place that gives you access to what you need to be searching and services around you. So yeah, so that was a phase wherein we were helping out people to understand the power of internet through these Google technologies. And today, as part of developer student clubs, I think it's more of building one such solutions. We've come a long way from there, and yeah, it really feels great because the kind of projects that are coming in are really awesome.
Nice. That sounds good to me. Like, and how was your experience traveling across colleges, like in the back in the days when you were experienced to meet like new people and new students from DSCs across India? So how was that?
Yeah, well, my first ever DSC community manager journey started from Chennai. I still remember this. So I did visit Hindustan Institute of Technology and Science, and that's when it started. I got in a sense of it's not about just going and visiting that campus, but also engaging and understanding the kind of culture there, food, travel, people, and how students are adapting to these technologies and understanding it. I've been like, yeah, I think that's when it started with, and it also gave me a new view of not just leads but also their energetic core teams. And so far I've definitely met some cool people whom I remember the most. Yeah.
So Naveen is asking like how was the dosa and sambar from Chennai?
I mean, who says like I do not like it? It's like amazing ones. Uh, Two chutneys and like few dosas, and yeah, it's like I enjoy it the most.
So there's one more question like what tips would you give to aspiring DSC leads for the year 21-22 and coming years?
Yes, I think uh, I could be thinking of like tips like these. Be very passionate. Don't be I think it's all about being open-minded and looking for opportunities and start building your own communities. It's all about solving problems, coming together, and not as an individual. So
Right.
keep that openness in your mind, and it can be a great start to being the next DSC.
Right. That's nice. So what's the like most exciting memory you have from the journey of DSC community, like with us and with the previous ones?
Amazing, plenty of them. I think I've been taken around on a ferry. I've been taken around, streets of so many cities that I never knew about, and traveling with all these people and having their happiness. If you could see me, I'm so happy speaking about it. I think all this is part of my exciting memory. But for sure, I think there is something beyond that. Is the kind of projects and the the passion all these leads had that was always inspiring me from within, wherein I could speak to them, engage, and try to understand how could we make it better. They've always been on the forefront of making it better every day, every single day.
That's nice. So when is DSC OMG 2.0 is gonna happen?
I think
Like,
I'll probably throw this question out to the leads here, and they're happy to answer it in the live section. And I'm happy, I'm super excited to look at those questions here and answers as well.
that's great. If you were a student again, what is something you'd like to do differently? Like, that's a good question, I would say.
If I was a student, like probably I could think of, yeah, I don't know. I just want to get back to the place wherein this is called as have my own house in forest and like yeah I want to be like Bear Grylls, yeah, just do that kind of exploration. Yeah.
That's great. So, what are some of the challenges that you face as the community manager while managing so many leads across India? Yeah.
Well, so I can derive few things from my journey here. So as Shad from SEM mentioned yesterday that it's very hard for community managers to figure out the names of all the leads in their region. I did face one such situation where there was somebody who did not know me,
Hmm.
and then later I ended up getting to know that he was a lead and he never knew me. Yeah.
Oh,
So, no, but yeah, so that is one such piece. But there are like other challenges, like probably it's so massive, and most of the time there's a kind of delay that is seen in reaching out and solving out problems for across so many people at a time. So yeah, that is a challenge. But I also see it like an opportunity.
yeah, that's great. We have lots of more questions like going ahead. This has grown a lot in last two batches. What are the driving force for this huge growth?
I would say passion towards technology and also passion towards trying out something new apart from that curriculum. Because I'm sure textbooks are getting boring and practical aspects are getting more and more interesting. And I see that as a core aspect of all these things being driven so well.
That's great. So you're not going anywhere for like 12 more minutes. So do you have any expectation from communities in coming future?
Uh, I I personally feel like it's not about expectations from communities, but going together with them. So I don't really want to term a kind of expectations, but I think they're already so when it's community, they're already definitive about what they want to do. And it's always about doing something really good. So yeah, that's about it.
Nice. That's nice to hear. More questions. How are you so awesome? Yeah, that's true. But I also want to know how you're so awesome.
Seriously, I don't know. It probably I think you guys should be able to answer it in live chats. It's and but yeah, so I don't know if I'm awesome, but it's all because it's just a reflection of
Yes, you
how you people are.
oh, you are awesome. That makes us awesome, right? So I have more questions. India is a big place with millions of students who dream of being at Google. Something you would ask all of them to keep in mind while their plans of this journey. Nice one.
Oh yeah, so that's a great question. So I would say, so yeah, I think it's again comes narrows down to one such aspect of passion and scale. So if you're willing to do something at scale, I think that is when you will start exploring. It's not just like, okay, let me build my build $1 million company at once. It's about starting something small, and
Yeah.
starting something small will always help you work on those fundamentals, driving you to a point that one day will show that the journey has taught you so many things. So I think it's the dream is also all about exploring yourself in a better way, uh, yeah, and making it possible.
All right. That's just something to keep in mind. From when DSC started to till now, how did your overall vision of the community change?
Yeah, so I think, yeah, so the major perspective that I have been seeing is from an individual to a team. So uh, I foresee it like more of this way. So the DSC has always been like leads, but one great change that I see from like since a year now is that leads and their core teams who have been contributing immensely across these chapters. I see that as a very positive change.
Oh, all right. That's great. So I have 9 more minutes to go. I need more questions. Or what do you want to say to the current batch of DSC leads? Like for me to everyone.
So yeah, I think I did mention it that. So yeah, you people are really awesome and keep being awesome.
Of course. So thing.
Yeah.
What is the like advice for budding developers in these COVID situations?
Be dependent on the data. Be dependent on the facts that are uh, like legit, and focus on information that has to be served to people in a right manner, and not just share opinions but facts.
Nice, nice. That's great. Any word of advice for students in college who are DSC members?
A vast experience that is they have been like going through today already. I think it's time for them to be the leader.
All right, that's nice. Well, it's time for us to go.
Yeah,
Superman is awesome. Okay.
I think
Superman.
I that's a great compliment. Thanks, Naveen.
Oh, Ian, great.
Yeah. Well, okay, cool.
Nikhil, you promised that you will visit Gwalior, like my city. So when are you coming? Like after this Corona thing?
Soon, I think you answered it already. So yes, I will visit as soon as we stabilize and everybody is happy at their home, and yeah, is happy to meet me, and not very scared of someone who has traveled from a different place and are worried about. I think, yeah, just waiting for everything to stabilize and looking forward to meet everyone.
Yeah, that's awesome. I will wait for you, man.
Great,
So I
thank you.
guess this is it for the question answer session. And thank you so much, Nikhil. You were awesome. Like you have answered many of my questions and many of questions from the live chat. And I hope we'll meet soon, like in DSC OMG 2.0.
For
And
sure.
hope to see you there. You are awesome, man. Thank you so
For
much.
For 8 seconds. Uh, Thank you, Nikhil, for that amazing piece of advice that you've given to all of us. It has been always amazing to have you, and same for this time again. Going ahead, after this pretty awesome session of talk from our very own Nikhil Raichur, we will now go ahead for the project display. Our very first project is Easy Gists, Easy Life. If you're into the world of open source, you must have definitely heard about GitHub, and if you know GitHub, you might have heard about GitHub Gists. So GitHub Gists are wait, for that we have Ritik Jain. He will be the perfect person to tell you about GitHub Gist named Easy Gist, Easy Life. So please welcome Ritik. Thank you and over to you. Ritik, you're on mute. Yeah,
Hello.
perfect.
Yeah, right. So, hello everyone. I'm Ritik Jain, and I'm a developer at DSC I'm a mobile full stack developer, and today I'd like to share a project that I've been recently working on, and it's called EasyGest. This is an app that I simply took on during the quarantine, and I think it's a great utility for everyone. So, why? You might ask, why make this app, right? Personally, I really like browsing blogs or reading code on my phone. And I'm pretty sure you guys can relate to because it's really convenient, right? But many a times you want to save certain parts of code or like store them for later. But right now there's no proper architecture for it. So to solve this problem, I came up with EasyGist. The problem with current solution is that you can either save your code to normal app like a Google Keep or any other notes app. But the disadvantage there is that you lose on the syntax highlighting and code formatting. Second option you have is that you can directly go on to GitHub Gist and store your code there. But the drawback of that is that you lose on the offline availability of the gist. To solve this, I came up with EasyGist. So now you can see the app in action. One day I was browsing code of TensorFlow Lite and I really wanted to save this code snippet for later. So all I had to do was copy it, go to the app, click on the add button, give it a name with the extension, of course, and add a description, state whether it had to be public or private, paste the code, and hit save. It was as easy as that. Now the gist have been synced with GitHub too, and you can view the gist here in a proper formatted way with syntax highlighting and code formatting. The biggest advantage of this I would consider is that all your gists are available with you anytime. So regardless of your internet connectivity, they're always with you. So, problems faced. I mean, I consider problems to be the best part of a project. You might ask why? I mean, why problems? They are the worst, right? But you always learn so much from problems that they really help you in your development stage. Like, you level up a lot from problems. And from working on this app, I've faced several problems which I would like to discuss, and I guess the solution of those problems might be helpful for you too. So first problem, GitHub Jets API was tough to work with. I'm not saying that API is bad, but the way it's structured in is really weird because it's first of all there's too much information and it's really nested. They use dynamic key values which are a little annoying to work with on Android. So to tackle this problem, I wrote a simple backend in Golang so that I only get the information that I require and dealing with dynamic keys becomes much more easier for me. Next, implementing OAuth. This is not a problem, but an experience I would like to share that all of us as beginners think that that using a library is not that good because it removes the hands-on experience from implementing the whole thing from scratch from it, right? But I would always suggest someone to use a library because it really shortens down your code and it makes sure that it'll work. I'm not saying that you just ignore what the library does. You can look at the code of it and still learn from it. So in this case, I could have decided to write an OAuth myself in Android, and that would have taken me a lot of time and about like 100 to 200 lines of code extra. But instead, I decided to use Firebase OAuth for GitHub OAuth, and it really helped me cut down the code and I could implement an OAuth system in less than 30 lines. So this is the power of libraries and the amount of time that it saves you. Another problem I faced was that a gist could have multiple files which would have the same ID. So what I mean by this is that the way gists are structured in the API is that a gist can contain multiple files. But to cache them locally on phone, I needed to have a unique ID for every file, right? So to tackle this problem, what I did is that a gist contains a unique ID and the file contains a timestamp. So I just combined both of them and hashed them and use that as a unique ID for my SQLite database on the mobile phone. And in this way, I was able to have unique ID for each and every file. So that was it for the problems that I faced. And now I'll briefly discuss about the tech stack involved in this app. So this app is a native app and it's written in Kotlin. Kotlin is amazing. I really cannot express how much better it is than Java. And I say so for several reasons. Like it provides data classes, which really renders getters and setters obsolete. You do not require them anymore. The code base becomes really short and the boilerplate is reduced by a lot. Kotlin also provides us with coroutines. Coroutines are lighter version of threads which are extremely light on your device, and you can literally spin up millions of coroutines without affecting performance, whereas you couldn't have done the same with threads. So though that is a real good advantage of using Kotlin. Next, I use Firebase OAuth for GitHub OAuth, as I mentioned before. Also, this app has been architected with MVVM, which is the model view model architecture. It is officially endorsed by Google, and I really feel this is a great architecture to implement for any project from small to medium to certain level of large scale projects. And Jetpack navigation was used in this for navigating between the fragments and also applying some cool animations to them. Retrofit 2 was used as the library for choice for consuming the APIs and dealing with network. It was coupled along with OKHTTP 3 to provide me with an interceptor which I could inject the authentication token into the headers too. And also, live data has extensively been used in this app because live data is really powerful and can make things much more easier for you than using callbacks or any sort of interfaces or things like that. Coin has been used in this for dependency injection, and it's a really lightweight library written in Kotlin, and it is for Kotlin. And also coroutines have been used to move all my tasks from a main UI thread to a background thread so that I could perform tasks like networking and storage without affecting the UI. Also, Room is used in this app for taking care of the SQLite stuff and onboard storage. Room is also officially part of Jetpack library and is also really promoted by Google team to be used instead of the deprecated SQLite helper. So I guess that was it. And you guys can connect with me on my email, reach out to me or follow me on GitHub. And also, you can visit our DSC VID's GitHub by following the link given there, and also contribute to any of our open source software or this app particularly. Also, you can reach out to DSC VIT at our website and look at all the recent projects that we have worked on, and also go to all the handles that we are available on. Thanks a lot. It has been pleasure performing here, presenting here, and you can download the app from the link given below. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ritik, for that amazing session. It has been amazing to listen to you so long. We'll obviously connect with you, and I'm sure the people in the live section will also do too. Next up, we have the Hermes project. So, in Roman mythology, no, it's not from the Roman era. Let's hear about the Hermes project from its creator, Muhammad Hisham Akhtar, Prakhar Soni, Shravani Sheth, And welcome, guys, to DSC OMG. This stream is all yours. And we've already met you, so these are familiar faces. Yay to DSC VIT again. Over to you guys.
All right, so I'll share my screen. So let's actually, without any delay, let's just start it. So Shravani, over to you now.
Yeah, thank you, Rajrita, for that wonderful introduction. And we're really excited to be here today. So we'll be talking about our Project Hermes. In the next few slides, we'll be talking about its implementation and our journey from the ideation to the deployment of our entire project. So stay tuned. It's going to be really fun. So I would like to give a huge shout out to Angad and Ubaid, who are also a part of Team Hermes. Without you guys, it wouldn't have been possible. Thank you, guys.
All right, so let's talk about the overview of the presentation. So we're going to start with a live demonstration of our application so you can actually interact with the actual Hermes platform. We'll be giving details on this momentarily. Then we'll move on to what Hermes is about and its features. After that, we'll talk about the timeline, the process of development at DSC VIT, how we actually develop the application and the issues we face and how we resolve them. Moving forward, we'll talk about the stacks we use and why we use those specific technologies. And to end the presentation, we'll talk about future plans for Hermes 2.0. Let's move forward.
So now we would like to give you a live demonstration of our application. Hisham will be, giving you a small sneak peek into the admin side. So when all the users are polling, he'll show you what exactly happens and explain to you what happens at the admin side. So join us at hermes.dscvit.com and our event code is 718579. So I'll also paste the link in our live comment section so that you can head on there and vote.
Okay, so as you can see, I have actually prepared a quiz in here. So I'll actually publish it. So now I've published it, and let's actually wait for some of the responses from our audience. And as you can see, we already got a response. So as you can see, the question is pretty simple. It's about the Big Bang Theory. So let's see who actually gets the most number of votes. And as you can see, as you people are polling live, I'm actually getting all the responses in here live. And you can see the graphs actually being dynamic and everything. And at any point, I can actually clear the responses and all of this is going to go away. And I can see the love for Raj increasing, and that's great.
I thought that was going to be an unanimous win for Sheldon Cooper, but yeah.
It's correct.
So of course, we can see who actually is the clear winner now slowly. And a lot of people are choosing him. And as you can see, all of this is actually pretty amazing. You can actually see the dynamic graph and everything here. And there's also a option to go to the next question. But since I've actually created just one question here, so it is just one question for now. So I think we've got our clear winner for us. So I will be closing the poll in like a minute or so. So just head to the site and actually go ahead and just poll for it. So we do have a clear winner already now. So I guess I'll just close the poll in here now. So after I've closed the poll in here, I can just hit refresh and we can see the number of participants who actually participated in the poll. And we can actually come here to the poll, and if we go look at it, we can actually see the responses of the entire audience. So we can see Sheldon Cooper obviously won, and that was what we had thought anyway. You can also add quizzes, polls, feedback. You can delete the events or delete the particular poll. You can add an event, and you have event code 6-digit, which is unique for every one of them. So actually now let's just move on with our presentation, and I hope that demonstration was actually useful for you people. So
all right, now let's talk about Hermes. The Project Hermes is a live polling website which allows the operating party or the organizer to create events while generating unique event codes for those events. Now, you might be wondering why Hermes? Why use Hermes? There are several platforms, including stuff like Mentimeter, where you can actually do pretty similar stuff. But the one limitation to those platforms is that they're paid. So you might have noticed in Mentimeter, you can create only up to 3 polls for a free account, and then you have to pay. So what we wanted to do was create a free and open source platform that anyone can use for our community to prosper, and this can be used in events and stuff to promote them. So using these unique event codes, the organizers can expose their participants to quizzes, polls, or live feedback sessions. Let's move on to the timeline.
So before we actually move on to the timeline, I would actually like to talk about why we gave it the name Hermes itself. So if you people do not know, Hermes is the Greek messenger of God and not Roman. But yeah, so he's a Greek god, and he had these shoes which helped him travel and deliver messages very quickly. And that's what our platform does: is it delivers the message from the audience to the admin very quickly, very fast, live. So that's why we just thought of going with the name Hermes. And in DSC VIT, we have a thing for naming most of our projects after Greek gods. So yeah, that's why it was called Hermes. So actually, let's talk about the timeline, how it was actually built. So first of all, it was the ideation phase. So like in DSC VIT, every project begins with a small idea. And this idea was actually given to us by Ubaid, as Shavani mentioned him in the earlier slide. And this was an idea which came up with the same thing that Prakhar said, that we wanted to build something free for the community which everyone could use, and not because it was paid or something. So that was the idea. And after the ideation, just as we always do in DSC VIT, we took up the whiteboard and the marker, and we designed the entire app architecture for the application, the database schema, and all of that. And that was pretty fun. And after that, we actually started working on the backend, and I actually made the backend of it. And getting the basic API ready did not pose much of a challenge. However, I did face a lot of issues with the sockets, because sockets are pretty tricky to work with, and making it live is actually one of the tougher things that I did. While I was working on the backend, Prakhar was actually working on a basic front end. So over to you, Prakhar, now.
Yeah, as Ram said, the basic backend was made, so we needed to make a basic front end to check if the API was working properly, and majorly if the sockets and the live part of the live quiz was working properly. So a basic front end was made, and we found a few bugs here and there and implementation problems, but those were in the process and we were fixing them. Meanwhile, the UI UX design was also being made. I'll pass it on to Shravani to talk about that.
So yeah, as Hisham mentioned earlier, we have a habit of, usually jotting down stuff on the whiteboard. So that's what happened. We collaboratively work and decide on how to proceed forward. So that's what I storyboarded this entire project on the whiteboard, and with the basic features that were needed. Then later I started using Adobe XD, and initially I built a UI for the website. So with including all the features. Later we wanted to add more and more features, and we thought of ways to improve it. So later we changed the design. We changed the design almost like 1 or 2 times in the entire process of building our website. After the web designs were done, we moved on to the mobile application view. And due to the entire COVID situation, there were a lot of delays, but in the end, we got it all covered. And we've also built customized views, customized color schemas for our users. So the entire website is not only presented in blue, but also has various other colors, and it also has a dark theme implemented. So maybe after this session you can head out and check it out. So the changes lasted until the last week. So I remember, Hisham was working on the back end, Prakhar was working on the front end, and I was continuously making changes. So it was a very difficult, task. And then I prototyped the designs and send it off for send all the assets to Prakhar, and he improved the front end view later on.
So while Prakhar was working on the improved front end, I was actually starting to discover some flaws in the architecture of the backend. So the biggest problem that I faced personally was the fact that while the live poll was actually going on, I had to actually record those responses somewhere, and I could not do that in the database itself, because if I connected to the database inside the sockets, it would actually make it slower, and that was not what I wanted to do. So I was using a global variable to actually store all of the responses, and it was becoming pretty slow and very dangerous for the application to actually do that. So I actually consulted my seniors, and my senior Angad actually gave me this idea that I should use something known as Redis, which is a caching mechanism. And using that, I was able to solve a lot of the problems that I was facing with the sockets. And after Redis was actually implemented, the backend was became much more robust than it was before. And after that was done, I gave it over to Prakhar to actually work on the integration for it.
Yeah, so as Shravani mentioned, there were plenty of redesigns for the website, so two or three to be exact. And this was kind of tedious because building an application like this, the front end part of it is kind of challenging if you're doing it in vanilla JS and everything else. So it took a little time, but yeah, we completely finished it. And as Asham said, we changed the backend implementation, so that took a while to integrate as well. And after integrating all that, we moved on to the testing phase.
So now whenever we make a project at DSC VIT, we actually make sure we test it. So we handed it over to all our friends at DSC VIT to test out the portal, to make polls and all of that, and see if it was easy for the user to make it. And we ran into a few bugs in there, but majorly the testing was a success. The biggest bug which was there was its incompatibility with the iPhones and iOS applications. But we were able to solve that in very easily. And after that, after the testing was done, we moved on to deployment. And the deployment actually was done like just one day before actually it became the partner for DSC VIT's polling website. And DSC OMG actually helped us get a virtual machine for the deployment. Prior to this, it was deployed on Heroku, and that was just for the testing part of it. Now for the deployment, the virtual machine we got was pretty powerful, and uh, our lead Angad, actually, he was the one who deployed the entire thing. So we used Docker stack for the deployment, and we tested the deployment using Docker Compose. The image for the Docker was private, and it was stored on Docker Hub. Now the deployment was done on the virtual machine with two instances of Redis, because the virtual machine had around 16 GB of RAM, and it was done with one instance of MongoDB, which was our database, and all of that was actually included in our Docker stack. Also, the code was actually is open source, so you can actually go and contribute to it. And if any changes happen, you are free to actually go and make changes to it and send us PRs. Let's talk about the stack used in brief. So I used Node.js and Express for the API. I also used MongoDB for the database, and as I mentioned, Redis for the caching part during the poll. Also, to implement the sockets, I could have used WebSockets, but I went with this pretty popular framework called Socket.io, because it makes our work a lot easier. And as I had mentioned, the deployment was done using Docker Stack and Docker Compose. So now Prakhar will actually talk you through why he used Vanilla.js for the front end.
Yeah. All right. So I'm a relatively junior front-end web developer. So I didn't have much experience with React, Vue, or any of those popular frameworks. So I stuck with Vanilla JS, HTML, and CSS. And this proved to be quite challenging because in the development process, it was mainly like add the screen, remove the screen, add it here and there. So that's kind of challenging to do in the vanilla version of everything. So if anyone's going to create an application like this, I would advise them to learn either React or Angular because those help in applications like these. I'll pass it on to Shravani to talk about the design process.
So yeah, for the design, I use Adobe XD, and I prefer it using over all the others because it's a very interactive platform to build our website and mobile application, and it is really easy to work on. The prototyping here is also easy, and the entire process of sharing your assets for development is really handled well with the software. So yeah.
Okay, so to talk about our future plans, the biggest future plan we have is actually to create downloadable text or CSV files displaying the results of the quiz and polls and feedbacks, and which can be accessible only to the admins so that they could actually use it for analysis or anything they wanted to. Also, since machine learning is the recent trend, so we actually want to introduce machine learning in our platform. And in the feedback session, especially because we want the admin to understand the satisfaction level of the audience based on the feedback which was given to them. Also, our currently is deployed on Linode, and we are planning to shift to Google Cloud Platform in the near future and use managed instances of MongoDB, Redis, and a virtual machine, a Google Compute Engine for our services. Okay, guys, so thank you for actually listening to our presentation, our project showcase. We can take a glimpse of our project at this link, homies.dscvd.com. Also, you can check out all our other projects at github.com/ggvit. That's our GitHub organization, and we have a lot of open source projects there, so you are free to make any pull requests and contribute to any of them. Also, I would like to give the DSC Idea Hub a mention, which is ideas.dscvit.com, where we all put our ideas, which we convert into projects, and even you can go there, you can check out interesting ideas. And if you have any idea which you want us to turn into reality, you can definitely go and put it there, and we will take that up. So thank you guys, and thank you for actually seeing the showcase.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. That was like a really great project. Hope you can ask students to contribute to that as it is open source. I'm going to go and contribute to the project right now, like after the session. All right.
Nice.
Thank you so much, guys and girls. It was really great time with you.
Thank you. It
So
was a pleasure
moving
to be
ahead,
here.
okay. So moving ahead to our next project, which was also featured on Google developers' social medias. Let's welcome Amen Irkar from Pune to showcase his awesome project about how he helped differently able people from his technology. So over to you, Amen. Hi.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, hi. Yeah,
over to you.
yeah, thanks, Ayush. So, hi, guys. So, I'm Amay. So, I have developed a project for differently abled people. So, my concept is basically of inclusive communities, because all of us are talking about different kind of communities each and every day, and here we are seeing the power of communities actually. So, what I have built is the affordable hearing aid for each and everyone, because it is not yet widely accepted and not available for each others. So starting with myself, I am actually a social innovator. As of now, I am working with the Bird Vision Consultancy as a project manager, and I am leading developer student clubs at MIT AOE. I am also Google Cloud certified associate engineer, and I am easily reachable at my web portals. So without wasting much time, so here getting directly into the project. So this is the simple question. So how many languages do we need to know to communicate with the rest of the world? So you can simply drop your answers in the comment section so that we can go through that easily. So the answers may be different, and there will be a lot of different takes from each and every one of us on this question. But the answer will be quite simple, that we are thinking about different languages, but the inclusive language will be the sign language, because the sign language will be understandable by each and every one of us. And yeah, we need a bit of practice, but it is independent of any development of senses or any other dependencies. So while thinking about this, so I have developed an interactive platform to educate the community at the right age. So what happens is that when we are interacting with any kind of deaf person, then we are not able to understand what exactly the thing is those people are trying to convey to us, or what they are trying to express basically. So what I have tried is I have just make sure that those people will be able to use the technology, and they will be able to interact with us, and they will be able to code, use some new fun technical tools. So I have developed an Android application to teach those students at the perfect age of the learning. So it will be basically working on the Android platform, and it will help them to remove the inferiority complex of speaking or pronouncing or understanding the tools. So with the help of Google text to speech APIs, they can also get how they are getting scored, and how exactly, how perfectly they are speaking and pronouncing. So they will gain a lot of confidence for speaking. But the major part was still remaining. So the major part was the hardware solution, because the existing solutions are costing somehow around 40 to 50,000 rupees on average. And considering the India or South Asian countries, or most of the countries in the world, the simple solution of 40 to 50,000 rupees, and again adding the maintenance cost of almost 25,000 per quarter, is not at all a feasible solution. So I have developed new hardware solution with some micro controllers and with some simple electronic circuitries, and the solution is actually costing 1% of the existing solution. So you can imagine how cheap it is and how huge community it will actually impact. So any guess how vast this community is? Because we are not at all seeing those people in our tech meetups or in our regular conferences. So we are not at all, most of us will not at all be familiar with these kind of communities. So uh, I have actually validated this product, and validation is actually the most important process. And for this product actually is the healthcare device, because it is working on the bone conduction principle, and the waves and vibrations are directly getting near your brain and near your bones of your ear. So I was pretty not sure, or I was not at all confident that will it be perfectly fine to pass those vibrations near the brain. So I just checked with the ENT surgeon, and I almost consulted for and took feedback for almost 2 years, and I got that hardware live. So it involved multiple kind of testings and iterations and lot of changes. So initially the device was like quite huge, and then scaling it down to the small piece, including the frequency tuning, amplitude modulation, and all other features with the help of software to make sure that the persons with all level of deafness can actually hear with this. So it is not something like only the people who are able to hear normal sounds will be able to hear with this kind of technology. So this community is actually of 64 million people, and I'm targeting these much of community because these much of people are actually not having access to any kind of hearing aids till the date. So this is the global population, and I have collected these facts from multiple resources and actually the surgeons as well. So this is the kind of the huge number we can see. So we can just imagine if these much of people are actually converted into the working force, and if they are gaining some confidence to interact with all of us, and if they can contribute to the tech or any other domains of their choice, then we can actually progress a lot, and we can surely change the world which we are seeing today by with the help of these 64 million people around there. So I have built this project, and it was quite simple. So it was just engaging with the communities, learning new things, looking at the problems, discussing, then building the solution, and then deploying. So this process of building some fun projects and impacting the communities cannot be any simpler than this. So this is the fun process. I guess each one of us should try impacting from our side and contribute to the community. So this is the video which is recently featured of me on the Google Developers channel. When I was going to school, there was a deaf class in my school, and I was just curious how teacher is teaching the children who are actually communicating with each other with the help of sign language. So they were having that barrier to communicate with the rest of the students.
Sound generally is passed to the eardrum, but when the eardrum is damaged, in that case sound can be transmitted directly to the middle ear or inner ear through the bone. The problem with commercially available bone conduction hearing aid is that surgery is involved and the children cannot afford that much cost.
There are almost 16 to 20 million persons in this world who are not having access to any kind of hearing aid. I thought, can I help them with the help of some technology? In the childhood, as we learn like A, B, C, D, phonetics, vowels, pronunciations, they missed a lot of those things, and that was the main reason why we are having deaf as mutes, because they haven't heard any sounds since their childhood, that they cannot reproduce the sounds with the help of their tongue. I just thought if I can educate them with the help of Android device, then it can be something great. And JDG helped me a lot to get introduced to the Android, as I'm from a hardware background. In the GDJ, I used to attend various workshops, like it was on Firebase, Android, Cloud. Everyone is learning from someone else. It was like growing up together and making something wonderful.
we were mentoring him in terms of working on Android and working on latest innovative products.
My school granted access to those students, and I developed something for them. They can listen to the pronunciation of each and every alphabet with the help of this app. So that's why I added the Google Voice API. So they can type the different words and they can actually listen to its pronunciation and they can gain confidence to speak also.
If Amaze instrument is widely available, that will help to the children cannot afford the surgery to hear at the very early age so that they can develop speech.
There are a lot of problems are there. Of course, I am feeling very proud. We should do something for our community.
I think we should have many people like Ame who thinks like real world problem can be solved by the technology.
To look at that happiness on the face of that person who is using my technology. This is the definition of satisfaction for me. Yeah, so as we saw in the video, so I'll just take you to the video and the exact part which I'm trying to highlight. When I was going to Yeah, so in this video, we were clearly able to, there was a dev class in clearly able to see that how I am using this kind of Android application and where exactly it's coming handy. So when the person is actually trying to type some of the things on the blackboard, so at that part it was not at all possible without any kind of these additional features which I had developed with the Android. So actually those people are not at all confident while interacting with the rest of us. So as you saw, there are like classes or there are schools where we are getting to, like we are interacting with the students and the teacher is actually teaching the students how to interact with the sign language and how to pronounce the words. But yeah, there is some kind of inferiority complex in each one of us and they are not able to interact with the rest of us like a normal human being. So that's the major thing which I tried with the Android and tried to solve the problem of interacting with the rest of us. So it is not something new which I developed, but it is just the thing which is very necessary for them while they are actually trying to speak. So if they are able to speak properly, then that's the thing which will make me happy. So this is my kind of contribution to the community, and this is how I try to contribute by learning some new technologies. So this is your time actually. So if you are having any kind of questions regarding this project, just let me know in the comments. Actually, I haven't yet open source the code or the project yet because I'm in the some final stage of the making this project available to the masses with the help of government authorities. So once the project will be live, we will be actually able to use that thing in the community around, and we will be able to see this thing. So I can see some of the doubts from the in the live comments. So Ayush, can you please help me display those?
Sure, sure. So the question will be on the screen like soon. So there's a question: does building such solution need both hardware and software proficiency?
Yeah. So how I started is I started developing the concept strike my mind when I was way back in my ninth standard in my school. So at that time I was not at all able to complete this project or give justice to this kind of huge projects. So I started building something and developed this kind of huge hardware, but it was of no use. Then when I started learning in my engineering days, then actually at that time I got some new skills because I'm from electronics engineering background. So I learned some new skills and developed hardware. In the meantime, GDG, DSCs helped me to learn some new kind of technological tools like Android and integrating APIs and Google APIs especially. And I developed this thing quite easily. So it's just kind of thing I started exploring and I was focused to solve the problem. So things went on coming up initially with the help
That's
of time.
great. So I have another question. Like, what advice will you give to fellow students who want to create such thoughtful projects?
Yeah, so it's basically just starting up with a small idea, and it's just how we are pursuing this idea and we are taking the things ahead and to the next level actually. And it's all about contributing to the community. So it can be in any way possible.
All right, that sounds really good. So thank you so much, Amir. You were great. Like, the project seems so great, and hope you do really great in future too. Thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Thank you, buddy.
Okay.
Bye.
So after the Amir's awesome project, we are gonna take a short break. Yes, a short break. So you can stretch up a little bit. So we have Naveen with us. He'll be helping you out take a break. So Naveen, can you please join in?
Hey Ayush,
Hi Naveen, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Hope you're doing good too.
Nice. So
All right. So I think we'll just get started with a break because I think you have been listening to all the projects all this while, and I think you deserve a break, right? So I have like we have just put in like a sort of like trivia questions for you to have fun. So this is going to happen on Kahoot. Let me share the link for you. So you can join the game at the link over here, kahoot.it, and use the pin below. Let me just share my screen. So, alright, so you will have to go to this link and enter this pin. Yeah, you can play it on your phone or you can play it from your PC. So just enter this pin and you will be in the lobby. We could see names popping up here. Wait for some time. Okay, we have 2, 3. Come on, guys, hurry up. We have 24, 25 counting. Okay, I think just for the sake of keeping on time, let's just get started. So are you ready? Looks like my screen is invisible a bit. Hold on, guys. I'm so sorry. Um, Let me just try sharing screen again. Okay, go. I'm so sorry, sorry for making us wait again. Um, if the if the if the session isn't working for you guys, just please go back and just enter the pin again. I'm so sorry. I think something is wrong with my internet or maybe my screen. I'm not sure. I think we have like 15, 16 players inside. 20. Okay, I think I'll just start now. You can just join in. Is my screen clear now? Yep. Okay, the first one. What was the first Android mobile phone? So you will have to select the options on your phone or your PC. You will have the shapes displayed. Okay. Okay. Oh, a lot of people have selected Nexus One. Okay, that wasn't expected. So the first Android phone was HTC Dream. Hope you guys will get it next one. So we have got CoderX, who has got high points 948. Good luck, guys. Here's the next one for you. Who launched the very first website? There's an image for you also. Let's see if you get it. Okay, time's up. Oh, that's so great. 17 people have got it right. The rest of you, good luck. CoderX still on top. That's great. I'm seeing other 4 people. Cloud Guy. Couldn't read what's that. Okay. Anyways, the next one. What was the Google's first tweet on Twitter about? That was an encoded binary. What did it say? Let's see who gets it. Is it Hey Google? Or is it Hello World? I don't know. Okay, 7 people got it right. So the encoded message which was there on Twitter was, I'm feeling lucky. That's right. Let's see who got it. Okay, CoderX is still on the top. That's so great. Keep doing. Good luck for the next one. I think this should be easy for you guys. Okay, straight. Only 2 people got it right. Oh my god. Have you guys not played the game? The Dino game on Chrome? That's so surprising, man. Okay. Good. Okay. This one should be tricky, I guess. Let's see the answers coming up. Okay. Sharp, iPhone. Okay. Oh, okay. I know this one was quite tough, and even I haven't heard of this game before. Anyways, that's great. 2 of you got it right. I don't know if it was out of luck or you guys really knew it. It's great. Let's go to the next one. So this is another one. So what was Android meant to be before? It was supposed to be a Google smartphone OS. Let's see who gets it right. Game consoles, cameras, TVs, in-car entertainment. See? Oh, there you go. So it's cameras, guys. Okay, 8 of you got it. That's awesome. So Android was actually meant for cameras before it was adopted. Anyways, this one kind of new to me. Which search engine was totally sold to in the 90s? Is it Yahoo? Is it Bing? Excite? Alta Vista? Okay. 2 people got it right. That's awesome, guys. Someone's on a scope streak. That's awesome. I think you guys know this. So I think you're familiar with the mascot, the Android mascot. I think you should know it. What's it? Droid Bean, Droid Bot, Droid, Automaton. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, so a lot of people have said Droid Bot. Okay, you got it wrong. It's Bug Droid, guys.
Thank you so much, Navid. We have our next speaker with us. Navreek
All
is
right,
now.
all right, cool.
I guess you've got
No
your
worries.
answers for the questions. So next we have DSC Snipe with us. Like it's a project by Ramashankar and his team. So it is a like data science tool for automation. Well, Ramakant would tell you more about it because he's the creator. So I would like to welcome Ramakant on this stream. So Ramakant, you're welcome on the stream.
Hello, Ayush. Thank you for the introduction. And so, hello, everybody. My name is Ramshankar Yadnath, and this is my teammate Shrikant. And I'm really excited to present you our BTech final year project titled Data Swiss Snipe. A title we felt was apt because of the tool's ability to aid in more than one facet of data science application. So, I should start sharing my screen now to start off with the presentation. Okay, so I assume all of you can see the screen. Since data science is a relatively new field, or as some of you would prefer to say, old wine in a new bottle, there are quite a few challenges in applying it. The way how I see it, these are predominantly two main divisions: technical expertise challenges and time consuming challenges. When I say technical expertise challenges, I'm referring to the challenges of writing code, understanding the math behind it, and the algorithms that go behind the scenes in machine learning. But when I talk about time consuming challenges, I am basically referring to the large amounts of time we spend on external websites such as Stack Overflow, Data Stack Exchange, or Medium articles to try and search for that one code snippet which would help us transform our data into something more usable for our analysis. Now, I'm also aware of those articles and blogs which advertise about teaching you machine learning or generating graphs in under 10 minutes. But are they really helping you use data science in your own independent projects and for your businesses? I'll let you be the judge of that. With these two challenges dangling right above our heads, automation might be a suitable fix. Now, when I say automation, the idea of automation is not to supplant traditional data science processes, but rather enhance it. As you can see on the right-hand side, you see the steps of data cleaning and reporting, where essentially the steps of data cleaning and reporting, which is marked in light maroon, can actually be performed with little user intervention. You can probably tell the system what you want done, and the system could probably do it for you. Steps 4 and 5, which is essentially modeling and visualization, can be entirely automated. Is my PPT visible? Yeah.
Yeah, continue.
Okay. So visualization modeling can be entirely automated, which is basically the basis for the entire level of AutoML and auto visualization libraries that are out there in the market right now. Now, I would like to add a statement that automation is not a silver bullet. For example, if you would hand over plenary control to a system to deal with your data science projects for you, then it could result in undetected data mutation, where at the end you might get a huge garbled mess of data, which might not be as good as the raw data itself. And then there might be unsatisfactory performance because your system really does not understand the performance at which you want to deploy your model at. And finally, a machine usually takes up very objective decisions. And data is intrinsically subjective in nature. It requires human interpretation. On the right hand side is a very simple fix that we felt would be easily understood by the viewers today. So we have a system and then we have a user. The system's going to ask the user with a particular question about what the user wants done, and the user is going to respond to this question. And based on this response, the system would take up a particular decision which would help the user transform his data into a better format for him and also generate results for his or her project. This is where I would like to introduce Data Snipe, which is our command line tool that we have developed. It's built on top of these open source libraries that are up there on the screen. It's open source with an MIT license, and if you know how to set up a virtual environment in your system, and if you have a Python version above 3.7 installed, and if you also have pip installed, you should be able to get this up and running with like exactly 3 steps. Now, user stories, this was the first consideration before building the product because we wanted to know who are we catering to. So there are 3 categories of users here. The beginner who does not have much technical depth, but he wants to see key operations in data science in action. And then you have a non-data technical who understands the data that they have. They are domain experts, right? So they do not have the technical knowledge to do data science with the help of code, but they really understand the data that they have in their hand. Data technicals are advanced users. There is nothing the data Snipe tool can provide them which a data technical cannot code on their own. But using a tool such as the data Snipe will actually help them save a lot of time, which is of great importance to researchers. So we had 14 respondents from the university to test our product and provide feedback for it, and we see there's largely positive sentiment towards what we have provided. And the good part is 70% of these 14 people were able to perform or let's say use our tool on the Titanic data set and and create a baseline model and generate basic visualizations and organize the whole project in under 20 minutes. So this is a disk block diagram which will be provided in a GitHub repository link, which is scrolling down across the screen right now, I presume. And these are a few screenshots of how the project will be working, which can again be found on our repository. So I'll skip all this right now and pass it over to my teammate Shrikant, who's going to give you a more detailed explanation on these aspects. Over to you, Shrikant. Could I have Shrikant on the screen? Yeah, cool.
Hello, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah. No, not yet.
No? Ram, could you stop sharing your screen, please?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Can you guys see my screen now? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, can you guys see the PPT? All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Shrikant. So coming to the modeling step, even though our primary aim was to automate data pre-processing and deep learning, we didn't want to leave the good old machine learning models out as they are still widely used. So our code generates these 5 baseline machine learning models, and the chosen one once will be chosen and that will be stored as a pickle file in the project directory. Okay, now I'll briefly explain the working of the proposed deep learning automation algorithm. First, the logistic regression model shall be trained, but it won't be considered for error analysis as it simply does not supersede the performance of the shallow and deep neural networks. And the neural networks simply outperform logistic regression in terms of the quality of results. So after this, a shallow neural network shall be trained and error analysis shall be performed on that. If the error analysis deems the shallow neural network to be not good enough, then a deeper neural network shall be trained. And sometimes what happens is this deep neural network will start to overfit. So to get rid of that, we will perform regularization. So here we'll be performing 2 types. So 2 separate neural networks will be trained, one with L2 regularization and the other one with dropout, and the best model shall be returned. All right. Now, in the end, along with returning the model, we'll be giving out a few tips to the user, like such as performing a hyperparameter search or getting more data to further improve the model. Now, moving on, this deep learning part, like just the deep learning part, it needs only 2 parameters to run. One is the number of classes, and the other one is the base optimal accuracy, which is basically the highest possible accuracy that you can get on a given problem. And these are a few snapshots. All right, so this is how the result will be displayed. I'll actually show you a quick demo after this. So this is how the result will be displayed. Here we tried this on the Titanic dataset, and the deep neural network with L2 regularization performance gave the best results. And I'll just show you a quick demo. All right, so this is how our project looks. So first, give me a moment. So this is the list of our files. So we just have to run main code.py as all the other files have been integrated into that. and it'll give us a pop-up asking us to choose a root directory. And after all that is done, it'll ask us to choose a CSV file and rename it. And finally, this is what will be displayed. As you can see here, the cabin feature has more than 77% of its features as missing. So there's no point in using a field like that, right? So we'll be pressing here 3 here and simply removing that. All right, here as you can see, the cabin feature has been removed. Now we need to these other features, they have just a small portion of their values missing, so we'll have to impute that with some missing. We will have to impute the missing values. So we'll be selecting option 2 here, and these are the two options that we'll be getting: statistical and custom imputation. And when you choose the statistical imputation, you'll get these three options, whether you can impute with mean, median, and with mode. All right, so here we'll just be imputing with mean and going ahead. Now if you look at the screen, it's asking us to enter the data type of each attribute. It's just two two types, numeric and non-numeric, nothing more. And now coming to the data pre-processing step, we have to enter the target feature here, which is survived for the Titanic data set, and the code will generate these the code will generate these three files. All right, now it is to be noted that the algorithm is actually giving us a pop-up saying that the feature ticket has more than 70% of its values missing. So do we want to remove it? We will, because again, that won't really be aiding the models a lot. And then it's going to ask us about each feature. So sorry, yeah. So it's going to ask us about the type of each feature, either ordinal or interval based or a default. So now here, this don't apply to any of our features. So we'll just select no for everything, and it'll select the default feature. And then it's going to ask us if we want to remove outliers. Again, we have selected no in this demo, but you guys can select otherwise. And the data visualization part, I'll come to that in the end. And this is the baseline models that we talked about before. And now switching over to the deep learning part. Yeah, so it's going to ask us those two parameters, and just give me a moment. Now it has started training a shallow neural network. And at the end of that, here you can see that the shallow neural network underfit the data. So now it's going to start training a deep neural network with 700 epochs. All right, so here the deep neural network actually ended up overfitting the data, so it's performing regularization. And finally, it's going to train two neural networks, one with L2 and one with dropout, and it returned the one with dropout L2 because it ended up performing better. All right, now I'm going to show you the project directory that will be created by the code. All right. All right, so this is the project directory structure that will be created: the data folder, the models folder, the reports, and the visualization. Now the reports is still a work in progress. The data folder has these three. The data folder has give me a moment, has these three folders. So after each step, it's actually storing the data in different files such as this. Here you can see the data that has been given to the model. It's very clean and it's just ready to be given to the model. It does not need any more pre-processing. And this is the models folder. The first one is the deep learning model, and the second one is the machine learning model that we picked. And now moving on to the data visualization part that I had skipped earlier. These are the plots that the model has generated without any the algorithm has generated without any intervention. There are about 20 or so of these. All right. Now going back to our presentation. Now, is DSK worth it? Well, considering that it took us less than 10 minutes to do this whole thing, including the explanation part, I'm going to let you be the judge of that. Okay, coming to our future scope, our main aim next is to build a website for the code so that the user does not have to interact at all with the terminal. And also, these are a few of our other functionalities that we aim to add. You guys can have a look at those. Also, our project is still in its rudimentary stages, and we might have overlooked a few considerations. but we aim to fix that through the help of the community, that is you guys, feedback from you guys. So we really urge you to like try out our project and give us feedback so that we can make it better and open to all. We'd love to chat. Do hit us up at these email addresses, and this is our project repository link. So please, guys, please visit this and have a look at the repo, and please give us feedback so that we can make it better. Now I'm gonna give you guys a moment to let this sink in. All right, thank you guys. That was it.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
that was pretty light. The project looks totally awesome. So we have some questions from the live chat, and
Sure.
it will be displayed soon. So we have a question like how this software is different from H2O platform and Azure ML platform.
That's a really good question. So let me start with that. So if I was to give a very honest answer to that, ideally we do not think the data source knife is at such a advanced level that we could compare it with H2O platform or the Azure and machine learning platforms. Probably we would get back to this question after 2 to 3 different versions of data source knife has been released.
And also not just that, we aim to make this platform completely open source and completely free and open to the community, and a collaboration more.
All right, so we have next question, like also any good resources to get started with NAS?
Shrikant, that's your domain. Shrikant.
All right, we have next question.
I think we'll skip that.
Yeah. So how is the project different from GCP's AutoML? Yeah, he's back.
Oh, sorry, I think we kind of.
Yeah, it's all right. Technical.
Okay.
I think this question is pretty similar to the very first question.
Can you see me? Okay,
yeah,
so
we can.
what GCP AutoML does is, we know it works really well, but the problem with that is it's not open source. I mean, it's not free. You have to pay some premium to access that. And our thing is, we are going to make it free, and we're going to actually give it to teachers and people, others to like actually start learning data science through this. And also, our thing will start returning code and neural network architectures and stuff like that.
All right. Yeah, that sounds fun. So other question, last question was like any good resources to start with NAS?
Okay, I guess Shrikant's got technical difficulties on his side. Probably we would answer this question at a later stage and let you guys know. Yeah. Okay, Shrikant, can you answer this question? Are you back?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not really sure what the question means. I don't really understand the question.
Neural architecture search. She wants to know if there are good resources.
Oh, so there's this Android specialization that you can go through. That actually gave me a lot of information into the field. But also there's, if you don't have time for that, you can also go through those. You can also go through those fast AI courses, and they'll give you a good insight into the field.
Thank you so much. It was like really insightful project showcase. Really appreciate you guys coming over here. So thank you so much for joining.
No problem. My pleasure.
Thank you for having us, Ayush.
Sure thing. Anytime. So next we have with us MI Camp or Me Camp from DSC and IITJ. All right, so it is something to easy college life. Well, pretty interesting. I must use this like daily. So please welcome Arsh and Praveen to showcase their project, Me Camp. Can I see them? Yeah, they're right here. Arsh is here, and
yeah. Hi Ayush, I'm audible.
I'm good. How about you? Yeah, so Praveen is also there. So over to you guys. Stream is all yours.
Yeah. So welcome everyone. So hope you are enjoying this mega festival of developer student clubs DSC OMG. So let me introduce myself and my teammate. My name is Arsh Goyal. I'm currently the developer student club lead at NIT Jalandhar, and I'm here to present a project with my teammate Praveen Agrawal. So basically, I would like to first of all let you know that there's an event known as DSC Solution Challenge that is being held every year, and it's a flagship event of DSC. So basically, this year, like it was scheduled from the month of March, and we need to submit the ideas to Google developers team, and they need to judge us on certain basis, and an idea was selected. So I am very proud to say that our idea at NIT Jalandhar has made it to the worldwide top 10 ideas. So just to give you a gist of what do they want as a part of solution challenges. So basically, they would want the project that is impacting the communities, like the communities around you, how you are helping those community, and the area, like the how widespread your project can be. So basically, the idea that was presented by Team DSC NIT Jalandhar is named as MI Camp. It's an Android application. So as I said, that it's based upon this how widespread its impact is. So basically. This is a project that is linked to college students, the problems the college students face when he enters a college, and how he is able to cope up with certain problems. Basically, like it can be used by any college student, and it has like the features. Some of the features I'm going to list, and rest of the things Praveen will be. Praveen will be telling you about the further features. So basically, it's a platform where the profile of each student of every college will be made, and he'll be able to like get to know and access the various events happening within the college. He'll also help and get there are many features like online food ordering, and you get to know the events that are happening in your college, that are get to know the events that are happening within other colleges. So basically, it's a common platform that is impacting the communities. Next is you can buy and sell old books on this platform. So this is an overall tool that will be very useful and beneficial for a college student. And currently we are thinking of expanding it further. And so this was the overall idea, and we presented it in DSC Solution Challenge. So in DSC Solution Challenge, we presented this idea in the form of a written text, and after that, we were interviewed by Googlers. They added to our projects and listened to what we are contributing to. So I would say that it was a great experience meeting and knowing more about how Google works and how our project can help more communities, and how other Googlers contributed and help us enhance our project. So it was finally able to make it to the top 10, and I'm very proud to say that Developer Student Club's NIT Jalandhar is the only team from India being in the top 10. So to give you a gist of the project, how it actually works and how it actually looks like, I would over to Praveen. So thank you so much.
Nah. Okay, so like Praveen is not available, like he got some internet issue, so you can like continue or.
Okay, fine, no worries. So basically, Praveen was going to present the project in front of you, and he had all the materials available. So basically, I'm open to like know what all queries you can have queries you have regarding the project, and anything you want to know about Solution Challenge, how we should think about, and how we should proceed with the Solution Challenge. So this is something that I would like to let you know and help other DSCs. Like we wish to see many more DSCs coming up and achieving this feat in the coming session. Like every year, this event is a flagship event being conducted under Developer Student Clubs. So anybody would like to, I'm open to questions. So please, anybody. Yeah, demonstration was to be done by the another person. I'm not sure if he's facing some technical issues. Hi Ayush, like is there any questions here so that we can answer?
So there's a question for you. Please guide us through the Solution Challenge thing. Like I see you on the.
Yeah, so basically it's an event that is being that is a part of Developer Student Clubs. Once a Developer Student Club team is formed, and they roll out the process mainly in the month of January. So you come to know you need to devise a solution that is impacting communities, and how, like, throughout the year in your DSC you have developed some projects, or you have mentored your teams so that they can come and they can showcase their projects. So those projects you need to filter out, and you can like submit those projects, and you get mentoring on the basis of these projects. So this was our idea. So basically, when you come to know about Solution Challenge next year, I hope you will be definitely participating and be one of the great participants.
So we have Praveen back with us, and he'll be joining. All right.
Hey everyone, I'm Praveen Agrawal from NIT Jalandhar. As you all know, that our team has been selected in top 10 winners for Google DSC Solution Challenge, conducted in 60 plus countries. That's really wow. And with only one team from India in top 10. So as Ursula stated all about the MyCamp, that what was all about. It's basically an academic platform where we solve all the problems of the college students, like providing them a platform to share their views and to helping them to ease out their college life. So I was about to present all the things, but due to some internet difficulties, I can't. So that's all for now. And trying to give my best to solve some problems faced by the local community instead of just complaining about them. So thank you everyone.
So we have
Hi Ayush,
technical.
maybe he might be facing some technical difficulties. We can take with more questions, right?
Yeah. So Arsh, how do you plan this project? Like, what was the thought process?
Yeah, so basically what the thought process behind this was, basically, like, when a first year student comes to a college, he has many questions about the college. He is not aware about what all events are happening in the college, and he's not able to interact with his seniors who are, like, if a particular person is interested in machine learning and he has some interest in data science. So in this app, you will get to know about seniors who have already worked in data science within your college, and you can reach out to them through this app. So this was basically the thought process, so that a newbie who comes to a college is familiar with the college environment, and he can easily survive in the college through this app. No, there are many features that we have added into this. Not only this, like, we can order food from the canteens within our hostels. Like, in the first years, generally there are some college restrictions, and you're not allowed to go out of hostels from around 7 or from around 6. So basically, you can order the food online from the available canteens through this app. The lot of features combined within one, I would say. So this was basically the thought process.
All right. So there's one more question from Nidhi Gupta. What stack did you use for your solution, and how did you use the various technologies?
Basically, it's an Android app, and like, it's connected with database. It's an Android app, and it has all the normal tech stack that we generally use developing an Android app. We have tried to include various other technologies, but currently, like, as it is available also, you can search on Google Play Store. It's by the name of MICamp, MICAMP. You will get to know what it's all about. Thank you.
All right, that sounds good. And thank you so much for joining us in DSC OMG. Hope you are a great future.
Thank you so much, Ayush, for having us here. Thank you so much.
Sure. So next we have an awesome project called the Handwriter. Yes, you heard me right. So it will just convert your handwriting into text, or vice versa. Well, the creator knows me well than me. So welcome Shantanu, the creator of Handwriter. So let me have Shantanu on screen. All right. Hi, Shantanu.
Hi, Ayush. So I'm going to talk about handwriting.
I guess you're on mute.
Oh.
Okay, so your audio is quite low.
Oh wait, can you hear me?
Well, you can just change the tab to your presentation. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
I still can't.
Hello.
You need to speak a little louder. Yeah, just remove the headphones. Yeah, it's better now. Can you try?
Hello.
Yeah, it's great. You can
Okay,
just go on.
so
Okay, so I'll start with my project showcase now. So thank you for having me, Ayush. The project that I'm going to talk about is called Handwriter. This is a project that I made a couple of months back here at DSC VIT. And so before telling you about the stack or maybe the technical details of what goes into Handwriter, I should start off by telling you what Handwriter is. And so I'm going to tell you what Handwriter does. So to the end user, Handwriter is like a black box. So you can give a docx file, a document written in a text editor to Handwriter as an input, and as an output it throws a PDF that's a handwritten file, right? So the contents of the text in your docx file is converted to a handwritten PDF. And so I want to talk a little bit about my inspiration for this project. And this really comes from personal experience, or rather personal inconveniences that I've had. We've seen some very amazing projects so far here that talk about contributing to communities. And so rather selfishly, this was made for my own community of students. So we often find ourselves in situations compelled to write lengthy handwritten documents when we live in the era of text editors, right? I mean, the average typing speed for a person is somewhere between 40 to 70 words per minute, and you can't nearly write as fast. So you can type much faster than you can write. And so if you're into push into a situation where you're supposed to write a lot of text, handwriter can really bail you out, and it's really bailed me out. It saved me hours and hours of labor and manual work. So hopefully it's going to help you guys out as well. So as I said, it takes a text docx file as input and throws a handwritten PDF as an output, and that'll look a little like this. So what you see before you on the left is a text file that I fed to it, and on the right is the output of that text file. And this is not the complete output, because when you write as a person, you end up taking a lot more space on a page than a printed output would look like, right? And so this thing would actually span about 4 pages ish, but basically this is what it is. And this suffices for an example, I suppose. So this is what Handwriter does, right? And so now I'm going to talk a little bit about how it does what it does. So before we discuss that, let's take a step back. And because we're science students, right? We're software engineers. We're trying to figure out how to solve these problems. And so let's try to understand how to solve this particular problem of converting text into handwritten images. And so one way that this problem has already been solved is through fonts. And so what that does is it allows you to map every letter in the alphabet to an image of your handwriting, and then that's given to a text editor. And that's a solution that works perfectly fine. However, there's one issue with that, and that is that every single letter is represented in exactly the same fashion. And the issue with that is that it's too consistent to be human. Its consistency, in fact, reveals its machine generated nature. And so what Handwriter does is it tries to give you a more convincing output. And so if you look at this output hard enough, you'll find similar letters here and there. But at a first glance, this is quite convincing, I would argue. And so fonts was out of the picture when I started with the project, and so I could not rely on text editors, so those were also out of the picture. And so then the next approach that I had was, since I am a part of the machine learning core team at VIT, my first instinct was go to a machine learning approach. And so what you would think of there is maybe you take your text line by line, encode that into a vectorial representation of a text, pass it through a neural net maybe, and then you convert that representation into a pictorial representation. And that's a basic encoding decoding task, right? But if you think about it, what's really happening is every letter is going into a black box, and what's coming out of that black box is an image of that letter. And so while machine learning could do this as well, in this case, a simple hash table would also suffice. So what I ended up doing was I created a hash table of letters where I had multiple instances of each letter. So maybe 5 instances of the letter A. And so my handwriter would randomly pick an instance and put that into the image. So that gives the effect of randomization. And so every letter is not consistent in the representation. And so, of course, the more letters I feed into it, the better a representation I get. Or rather, the more letters per letter I feed into it, the better representation I get. And so between machine learning and abstraction, both approaches should work. And I decided to go with abstraction because as this is known as Occam's razor, which says that you go when you faced with solutions to a problem and each solution suffices equally, they're equally powerful, then you go with the solution that's simplest. And the reason why this works in software engineering as well is because that it also means it's going to be the easiest to maintain. And so I went with an abstraction approach for this problem. And abstraction approach was this. So you'll see a couple of layers of abstraction here. The very first layer is the letter parser. And what that does is it directly translates your letter into an image of a letter, right? So that directly retrieves it from the hash table. And then we have a line parser. So what the line parser is responsible for doing is it takes all your letters and arranges them into words and places them into a line. And there's a little more going on in there than you might think initially, primarily because we're not using text editors. So the job of arranging everything in space so that letters appear to be in the same line, or that lines have consistent lengths, or pages have the same number of lines. All these things have to be managed manually. So all these levels of abstraction allow me to tackle the problem at the appropriate stage. So the line parser then feeds into the page parser, which presents a page, and then the document compiles all the pages to give me a document. And so if I had an issue with words not properly, line lengths not being regulated properly, I would know that I have to go to line parser to fix that. And so by using clever abstraction, I'm able to completely abstract the logic of a text editor and use it in my application. So everything is done from scratch, and this whole backend logic stack is in Python. Like all these classes are done in Python. So if you know Python, you know this. So next, I'm going to give you a little brief demo of my app. And so you will see that, first of all, this is a desktop GUI package. So in a minute, I'll show you a link where you can go and download this. But basically, I'm going to take this text document. And this is, again, where I said that this has helped me a lot in the past. So you'll see that this text document, just a second. Yeah, this text document, right? So it's a document about network. So there are a couple of questions and I've answered those. And so I'll take this text document and I'll convert that into a handwritten output. And so while this is happening, I'll also go ahead and show you the website for Handwriter, and a link to this is going to be in the presentation, and you can check that out as well. So this is where where we're hosting all the packages for Handwriter. Just a second. Yeah, so this is where we're hosting all the packages for Handwriter. And so you can get the Windows installer or the Mac OS installer. The Linux packages are a little broken right now. They need to be fixed because of GPG key issues. But we're on that, and Handwriter is very much a project still in its infancy. So we're ironing all that out. But basically, you can get the installers from here and use that on your systems. Great. So this is done, and it writes to the exact same folder. So test.docx got written to test.pdf on my desktop. And so if I open this file, you'll see that there the same document in handwritten content now. And so one thing that I will point out here is that there was a little bit of time latency in doing stuff, and that's again one thing we're ironing out. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. First, let me talk about the stack of this application. So the first thing is actually handling the logic of everything that goes on, and that is done in Python. You've already seen the abstraction that goes into it. On top of that, I've got a desktop GUI. So if I wanted to use this as a web app, maybe I could simply take the logic part out and use that in a website. And in fact, one of the people at DSC VIT are already working on that. So so the GUI is written in PyQt5. Then I've got the fman build system for packaging, and open source for the win. So this fman build system is a very cool little package. So what it does is it allows you to take a PyQt5 GUI application and convert it into binaries that you can then deploy on Windows, Mac OS, or Linux, or whatever. So that, and then so every time that I publish a new package, I would want it to reflect on my website, and I would want my releases to get reflected accordingly. So I've got appropriate GitHub actions set up for that. So that's a CI/CD pipeline. And finally, the website that you saw was done in Hugo. So you can see that there are a lot of parts to this project, and to make it convenient for the user to actually get their hands on it. And all of this right now was done solo. And so there is a lot of scope for handwriter in the future. There are a lot of things that have to be done with, but because I have done all this myself, it would really benefit from a community backing it. So I guess I'm asking for contributors also here, but it would really benefit from a community backing it. And so the future scope for this project is going to be to work with, as you already saw, it really works well with a particular handwriting sample, right? That's a static handwriting sample. And because I fed in images of that handwriting sample. But what I want in the future is that a user should be able to feed their own handwriting sample and work with it so that they can write documents in their own handwriting. And so one of the ways that we're going to do that is we're going to end up so what we're going to do there is we're probably going to use a font generator for a handwriting, and we're going to use a neural net that converts all that information and generates multiple samples of each letter, so it allows us to do randomization, and then I can feed it into my letter parser without changing any of the architecture at all. The next thing is that, as you've seen, it was a little there's a little to be desired in terms of speed, and that's I did a little benchmarking, and so every line takes approximately 30 milliseconds to process. And so for a lengthy document, that can be a little more than you're comfortable with. And so to solve that, we're looking at a multi-threading approach in the future. So that's some more work in the backend, that the logic part of the application that we need to do. And if you want to check out the website where I just installed which I just showed you, where you can go and install the package, this is the link to that website. And if you want to contribute to the repository, you can go to this repo link and you can contribute over there. So feel free to do that. And my name is Shantanu. This is my GitHub handle. You can get in touch with me if you like. If you'd like to get in touch with us at DSC VIT, we regularly post about our projects and our workshops. We do a lot of those. And as Hisham from DSC VIT has already mentioned, we've got an ideas website also. So you can go there, and if you have an idea that you think is really cool, but you're not quite sure about how it should be implemented in the real world, you can go ahead and talk to us about that, and we will try to implement that for you. Ekansh Arora is a senior at DSC VIT. He really helped me out with the GUI designs and the logo and the overall UX aspect of the application. So that is it from my side. If you have any questions, I'll take them.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Shantanu. That was pretty insightful. And to be honest, I use that project a lot in my assignments.
Thank you.
All right. So let's have our next showcase. We have DSC DDU admin app by Maliha and Parth. So Maliha and Parth will be joining, and here they are. Hi, Maliha.
Hello,
Hi, Parth.
Ayush.
Hope you're doing great. So stage is all yours. Just rock it.
Thank you.
Parth, can you just fix your audio? Your audio, you're not audible enough. Your audio is quite low. Can you please speak out, like speak louder, or just remove the headphones? Like from the audio.
Hello, now?
Yeah, it's better. It's better. You can go on.
Good evening, everyone. Today we are going to be showcasing the DSC DDU admin application. So this is a mobile application, and I first talk about why we had to build this application. So before we switch to a mobile application, any events that DSC DDU had to conduct, we had to circulate Google Forms for it. So that was a bit tedious, because when we had constraints on like how many participants to allow, we had to continuously keep checking the Google form, and to get the data of all the participants, so we had to get their email IDs to get any notification to them. We had to send emails to them. So that was all a bit tedious. So the Android team of DSC DDU, they decided to build an application for user registration. So we had that working, and all the events were posted in that application, and students used to register from them. But again, managing the events part and getting the attendee list and everything, that was still done manually from on the database itself. So then me and Parth, we decided to make this admin application. So in December 2019, when we were just introduced with Flutter, we decided that it would be good for us to learn as well, and that it will contribute to our community as well. So we decided to build this application. So it is built completely in Flutter. It uses Firebase, and it has now been accepted in Community Leads platform as a community building tool. So any DSC around the country or even any other club, they can just modify the logo and attach, join it with their own database, and it can work well for any club. GitHub repo for the application is mentioned here. Talking about the features of the application, well, when we started, our aim was only to do the event management, just the CRUD operations on events. But then as we went further, because it is built in Flutter, and we got quite used to it, and it was we felt it is very easy to build in Flutter. So then we extended and we added more features of sending user notifications, getting the entire attendee list, scanning QR code for user attendance. It uses Firebase Google sign-in. So at the very first, it prompts you to sign in, selecting a Google account. And the access has been given only to the DSC review members. That is, if someone else tries to access it, they won't be able to. It has silent sign-in, so that anytime you open the application, you will be directly signed in. This is how the homepage looks. It has a list of all the events that DSC review has conducted. There is an option to send notifications. So this uses Firebase's cloud messaging. After you submit this form, notifications will be sent in the user application of DSC DDU in which the students register. So they will receive a notification via this. Adding a new event. So there are different, there is a form for adding the event, and if you have to enter the date and everything, so checking all the constraints and making that easier, we decided to put date pickers and time pickers, image uploading, that is the poster of the event. This is how it looks after the event has, a new event has been added. This is the layout. It shows the entire description of the event. There are drop downs for seeing the entire description and everything. You can also edit and delete the events. This is how the form for edit looks, and a confirmation before you delete the event. This is to make the event live. That is, after the event is added, it won't be directly visible to the user application. After we make it live, only then the registrations can start for the same. This is how the attendance page for an event looks. That shows how many people have registered and how many of them are actually present. There is an option to get the entire list of the students in a CSV format, and it shows up a prompt from where you can directly open the file. On the day of the event, another feature, that is scanning QR code, is shown. So in the user application, a QR code will be generated for each user who has registered, and using this feature, we can mark their attendance directly by scanning the QR code. So this made marking attendance quite easy for us. We didn't have to actually print out the entire Excel sheet and mark attendance manually. So if the QR code is correct, then their presence will be marked. And finally, there is a feature for signing out of the application. That's it from my side. Now Parth will take up a short demo of the application.
So first of all, we have started the DSC DDU app and for the event registration. So there is one problem. So we have to enter event details and the image manually from the in the Firebase console. So it is quite tedious. So we decided to make an app for the admin, so we can handle the events more easily. So we are exploring the Flutter in the December. So we decided to go with the Flutter. So let's go into the demo. So I will share my screen. I think it is visible. Yes. So this is the login page. You have to log in with your Google account. So only DSC DDU member has the access to the. Yes. So I am logging it with my Google account. So you can see the event listed down here. So if you want to add if you want to add the event, so just simple give the details, select the date and time, enter venue description, and upload the poster, and that's it. The event is added. If you want to edit the event, so we can edit here. If you want to delete it also, so we can delete it also. So, and after the event, we have to, if we want to send the notification, we can directly send it from the app by giving the title, body, and image if you want. And if you want to send the notification to the user that have registered for the event, just create a topic of the event name, and it will send the notification to the users only who has registered. So next thing is, if you want to make event live, means if we added the event and if we want to start the registration, we can simply make it live from here. So if we want, if we make it live, then we can see the total available seats, and we can also check the attendance from here. So it is showing that how many people are registered and how many are present. So on the event day, when the user show QR code, we have to just scan the QR code for the attendance. So I'm scanning the QR code. So when we scan the attendance, it is marked as present. And if you want to get list of the users who has registered, just simply we can get the CSV file. So you can see that we have get the CSV file. We can open as Excel sheet or anything. So we don't have to see the database and all things. Next is sign out. So that's it. This simple app makes our event handling more easier. So it is quite fun to build this app. Thank you everyone for having us. That's it from our side.
All right, so thank you so much, Malia and Parth. It was a great app showcase. So next up, we have Lucy. So this is the last but not the least project showcase. So it's time to use the 100% of our brain's capacity. No, just kidding. So yeah, if Lucy comes in your mind, that's the next project's name. So please welcome Vishal and Amog for their project showcase called Lucy. So hi Vishal and Amog.
Hi.
Stream is audio.
Thanks. Okay. Hi. I'm Amok from DSC VIT. I'm a full stack developer, and yeah, go on, Vishal.
Yeah, I'm Vishal Silvaraj, and I'm a math and computer enthusiast.
Yeah. Let me just start off with a small explanation of what our project is. So, it's an OGM for Neo4j. OGM built on the theme of an ORM, an object relational mapper. So we noticed that the Go language didn't have any recently updated OGM for Neo4j, which used the latest Seabolt driver. So we decided we'll make our own. Vishal, take it away.
Yeah. So Lucy aims to provide the developers with an easy-to-use interface so that they can manipulate Neo4j databases very easily. So here are some features of Lucy. Lucy happens to have intuitive syntax. It prevents query injections at runtime, and it also sanitizes your query as much as possible. Now, it also has a restricted context. So let's say if we have a developer who writes OGM code which is invalid. So what Lucy will do is it will notify the developer, or in other words, it will just throw an error to the developer saying that the query is was built in a wrong manner. Yeah, and so yes, now
So
Amok will
before
explain about
going
what an
into
ORM is.
how, yeah, before going into any further details, let me just explain what an ORM actually is for those of you who don't know about it. An ORM is an object relational mapper. This is something very commonly found in REST APIs and backend projects. So suppose you are trying to build a backend which needs to store and persist some sort of data. Let's assume you're using Python and your database is an SQL database like Postgres. You'll typically use an ORM instead of writing SQL queries directly. There are two reasons for this. Number one, the SQL queries may not be the most optimized for it. And number two, there is a chance of some kind of SQL database injection, which is a security vulnerability. And both of these pitfalls are avoided by using an ORM, which in Python's case might be something like SQL Alchemy. Vishal, you can now
Yeah.
explain how Lucy is different.
So, what makes Lucy different from an ORM is that ORMs require a function call, which tells the ORM object that when the query should be executed. Well, Lucy doesn't need that. What Lucy does is it evaluates whether a function is a terminating one or a non-terminating one from the context of the query. And the other difference is pretty simple. Since we are dealing with a graph database, we can't have our ORM or OGM in this case to work in terms of tables. So we have to work in terms of nodes and edges. So that's why all operations in Lucy are node oriented instead of being table oriented. So moving on next, we'll have a brief overview about Lucy's architecture. So 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 here's the OGM code. When the OGM code is typed in by the developer, it is processed into a database object and it is sent to the query queue. Now, what happens is, so let's say if you're doing something like you are using a where clause, and then finally you are using select. So when you use select, it is a DML statement. So at that point, your query is going to be executed. So when the developer actually puts in a DML function, the database object invokes the query engine to synchronize with itself. So what happens then is the query queue is passed to the query engine, and it is further processed into a pre-compiled combination of information. So it's a expression operation pair. So what happens next is that these expression operator pairs are passed into the query runtime. And what happens then is the JIT compiler, which is inbuilt in Lucy, it takes in these expressions and processes them and creates cipher queries. Now, meantime, when the query engine pre-processes all these stuffs, sanitization and injection detection happen simultaneously. So if there is any injection, all other queries will be ignored in the transaction, which saves the developer a lot of time. So now we'll show a demo on how Lucy actually works and a demo of the syntax. So yeah.
While Vishal is setting up the demo, I'll just explain something pretty cool about Lucy. Is the fact that it's thread safe, and that's important for a very good reason. And by thread, I mean Go routines. It's Go routine safe. Go routines are a major feature for Go developers. They help in concurrency, and the fact that uh, Lucy is thread safe or Go routine safe makes it much easier to build highly concurrent apps. Vishal, let's go.
Yeah. So this is a bit of code, bit of OGM code in Lucy. So it is as easy as this. So you can actually manipulate a Neo4j database using these functions merely. Um, so let's try running this for a change. So sit on run, and yeah. So as you can see, uh, Lucy has created cipher queries merely from OGM chains. So you can see here in the first line that this cipher query actually corresponds to this line. So this is where all records where age is greater than 0 are deleted, or all nodes in this case.
Vishal,
And yeah,
maybe we can zoom in on the font, make it a slightly bigger or something.
yeah, sure, sure.
Or that's fine, I guess. We demonstrated that it works. Now, some questions that people might have are that we'll need to use some sort of specialized object provided by the library itself for insertion into the database. Now, this is a valid concern because Go is a statically typed language and it's hard to have dynamic languages support in there. So, but don't worry about that. Lucy uses runtime reflection to figure out the types, and any old struct is completely fine to be inserted. I think that's it for our demonstration. We are ready for taking questions now.
Thank you so much, Vishal and Amok, for that amazing project showcase. And not just this project showcase, I'm pretty sure all the projects that we've seen for this evening have inspired us to achieve bigger dreams as a community and have more contributions to the society as developers should do. Next up, we have two incredible women with us. They are Saloni Parekh and Manorama Maharana. Saloni is an aspiring front-end developer and a content writer who loves writing blogs. Manorama is an aspiring Flutter developer and a skill designer. Both of them are from the core committee members of DSC VIT and they love conducting technical events in their college and beyond. So this session that they are here for us is about the embracing women empowerment in tech. It's a step towards balancing the gender ratio in this domain. So this session is primarily about the approach and vision that they have towards promoting more women in tech and how we as a community in the total can contribute to organizing more women-centric hackathons and try to bring about a change in the prevalent system that we have today. So over to you, Saloni and Manorama. Have a great session.
Hi, thank you. Yes.
Just a minute. Yeah. So guys, I'm Manorama, and here I have with me Saloni. We're from DSC and hope you're having a great time at DSC OMG.
Hello, everyone. This is a wonderful opportunity given to us, and we hope we can make the most out of it. We are here to talk about gender diversity in the field of tech and how we can contribute towards bringing more women in the industry. Here's an overview on what we are planning on speaking today. Ranging from the current state of women in tech to our contribution to the cause, we have got you covered.
So let's start off with a question. When I asked all of you to picture an engineer, how many of you would actually picture someone who looks like us? Usually, not a lot. So why does it matter at all? I believe with engineers making big advancements in the society, in fields such as medical sciences or technology, we deserve to have the female perspective. And trust me, it will only get better. Maybe some of us don't fit in yet. Neither will we in our generation. But we need to ensure that the little girls of the upcoming generation will. A lot of people I know usually conclude that girls aren't as good in STEM subjects as compared to the guys. For those who aren't aware of what STEM is, it stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. However, what we really need to understand is that it isn't a biological thing, but a deep-rooted cultural issue that most of us are unaware of.
So one very interesting fact that I would like to add up to Manorama's point, I guess most of us girls here might be able to relate. I'm sure each and every girl here might have grown up playing with Barbie dolls or princes and princesses. In short, we were pretty much made to get acquainted with fairy tales and fantasy worlds. While the scenario is completely different for boys, they are more into robots and cars sort of stuff. These toys are marketed to the boys for over 100 years, which gets them interested in maths and science. So while on the other hand, girls end up getting makeup kits and dolls. So why the difference here? Do you think our childhood plays a major role in shaping our future personality and likes or dislikes? So I believe that toys should be more gender neutral for the upcoming generations. And even small girls should be introduced into the world of cars and construction sites rather than playing with just kitchen sets and pretty dolls.
Now let's talk about the current scenario. Although I agree that women are doing much better than ever when it comes to growth and development in the evolving world, where the education and industrial participation is concerned, various companies have reported that more women have risen to top levels of respective companies, and an increasing number of companies are valuing women in leadership. However, there's a catch here. The wage gap is a real issue that needs to be tackled in the current times. It is noted that the gender pay gap is wider for women of color in executive roles and women mainly in male dominated occupations and industries.
So, statistical analysis. Firstly, we must admit that we are lucky since we do not live in our mothers' or grandmothers' times when career choices were so limited for women. Most of us present here have basic civil rights, but there are still plenty of women who are not accustomed to those. Not only tech, but women are not making it to the top of most professions in the world. The numbers show that women make up to 37% of all employed adults in the world, out of which only 20% are a part of the tech industries. So this graph shows the famous big 5 tech giants and the percentage of female employees working here. The tech job ratio denotes the women staff in the tech department. These industries serve as an example and a source of inspiration to the other smaller tech industries. So if they start making efforts towards the cause, I think it will definitely bring about a change.
So let's talk about why does this happen. Firstly, the lack of encouragement provided at school level. Most of you here might agree on the fact that at high school level, players tend to stereotype girls who are interested in STEM-related subjects. It wouldn't be surprising if one of us suddenly realizes that we might have been a part of it too ourselves, in one way or the other. Girls are often looked down upon if they seem to be engrossed or excelling at STEM-related subjects. Boys, on the other hand, are titled to be geniuses for the same efforts put in. In most areas, especially rural, although the girls have the ability to talk, they aren't given importance as such since the subjects are a part of STEM.
So next, media stereotypes. Media plays a big role in discouraging young females from pursuing STEM subjects. TV shows, movies, and advertisements are also contributors to the situation. I would like to quote one very interesting example here. I do not know how many of you guys have seen the show The Big Bang Theory. Here, the female scientists, Amy and Leslie, are often portrayed as the weird ones, while the only non-scientist Penny is considered to be the normal one. So this portrayal could insert a wrong impression in the minds of the audiences watching and might easily divert them.
Thirdly, coming to the career struggle. Even if young women make it through a bachelor's degree and enter the tech workforce, their battle with isolation is far from over. While most women do not experience obvious forms of discrimination, they do face an underlying disdain leading to the feeling of isolation. Often they are denied their rights, their pay, or credits, which further gives rise to unfairness.
So, how does it benefit to have women at the workplace? It's worth noting that there aren't just one or two, but multiple reasons to bring in gender diversity in the tech industries. Being the first one, it gives rise to innovation. Be it L'Oreal or Disney, organizations across various industries are seeking to prioritize and benefit from a diverse and an inclusive work environment. Men and women often have different experiences and backgrounds that can breed on creativity and promote various innovative ideas.
Secondly, trust is built among the peers and an ethical culture is maintained at workplace. A study published by the global consulting firm Hay Group found that women outperform men in most emotional competencies that include self-awareness, empathy, and conflict management to begin with. This is an important quality that is necessary in order to maintain a good work environment, since we all know that failing to uphold ethics-based behavior can have a negative long-term implication on any organization.
Thirdly, with more women in the workforce, the management brings in several new programs and changes that benefits both the genders. So facilities like childcare, ATM machines at work, work from home, and elder care were not actually offered by the management before women started to enter the workforce. So while some programs have been effective, yielding significant progress in recent years, barriers that limit access to industry jobs for women remain.
Finally, we find women generally tend to be better at problem solving under stressful conditions. According to a neurobiologist at Radboud University, Netherlands, both men and women under anxiety have a hard time making good decisions. But the closer the women got to the stressful event, the better their decision making became. Stressed women tend to make more advantageous decisions, looking for smaller and surer successes, whereas men suddenly become much more drawn to risks and big rewards than usual.
Now we look into the business benefits that women bring into the industries. Firstly, let me tell you, they are excellent at soft skills. While we are aware that technical skills, experience, and knowledge are fundamental to success, organizations are now holding soft skills in much higher regard. Women have been proven to hold a key advantage in such skills such as professionalism, networking, collaboration, communication, and critical thinking. This enables them to bring in business to the company and help in its growth.
Secondly, and more importantly, they provide important consumer insight. It has been estimated that women contribute in excess of $20 trillion in consumer spending every year. Not to forget, women also account for 85% of consumer purchases. With the power of female consumer in mind, it is evident that women are best placed to make products and services more marketable and a business more profitable by providing valuable customer insights.
So finally, talking about their analytical, well-structured approach, you have heard of the phrase woman's intuition, thinking of women as the ones going with their gut feeling. However, research shows that women tend to take a more analytical approach. They are more likely to analyze possible scenarios and pros and cons and take further decisions for the betterment of the organization.
This was about how the organizations benefit. Going further, I hope you all have this question in mind as to how one could contribute in order to bring about a change. Let us look at what the possible solutions could be. Firstly, amplify women's voices. Often we see that women's opinions are ignored or turned a deaf ear to in this male dominated industry. We should ensure that women are heard and are actively included in every decision taken. Give credit to the deserve when it's due. Invest in women-owned businesses. A Harvard Business Review research shows that women startups financed by women perform better than the ones financed by men. The report suggests that gender matching between female entrepreneurs is responsible for the improved performance. This is because women tend to see the potential of women-based startups and give better advice to them as compared to the men. Further, we need to encourage them by donating and contributing to their campaigns and events. Taking these steps should not be looked down upon or discriminated against. Women leaders are changing the world, and their contribution has resulted in the progress made by the industry today.
Next, encourage younger generations. I believe that encouraging younger generations to get involved in various STEM related fields is an important step in order to motivate them into pursuing a technical career. As we know, coding remains one of the most essential job skills used across various industries, and hence it should be presented to the youth, especially girls, early on. This would boost their confidence and motivate them to avail the numerous opportunities available without any hesitation.
Thirdly, be a mentor. We all know the importance of mentors in our lives and how they played a major role in shaping our career. Give them equal access to mentoring opportunities. Providing them with actionable advice and helping them network would make them discover their passion for technology much earlier. Guide them through the process and help them strengthen their skills. This would in turn motivate them to apply for the available opportunities.
Next, encourage participation. An effort should be made towards making sure that there's equal diversity of participation in tech-based contests, events, and hackathons. Keeping rewards for girls could be a good way to promote and increase their participation, or even compulsory participation if required can also play a good role in the same.
Finally, look towards the female future. The first step before all of this has to be a common goal, a vision of a future where girls and women are equal counterparts of their male peers. Each and everyone should be a part of this idea and embrace diversity in every field, not only tech. Support organizations, educate the girl child, and influence the future generation. This is the best way to contribute. Let us now have a look at few famous women in engineering. These are just a few, but there are many more out there who have overcome several hurdles to achieve success. Firstly, Gwynne Shotwell, an American businesswoman and engineer who is the president and the chief operating officer at SpaceX. Diane Bryant, she is an independent director at Broadcom. Prior to this, she was also the chief operating officer of the Google Cloud Platform. Thirdly, Priya Subramaniam. She is the current vice president of iPhone operations at Apple.
Here are a few women entrepreneurs that managed to make a mark in the industry. Vandana Luthra, founder of VLCC, received India's fourth highest civilian honor Padma Shri Award from the President of India. Kiran Mazumdar Shaw, the founder of Biocon Limited, was named among the Time magazine's 100 most influential people in the world. Lastly, Priya Paul, the chairperson of Park Hotel, was nominated for the Economic Times Awards as the Business Person of the Year. And here are a few inputs on how companies can participate towards improving the workplace culture and make it more gender friendly. Firstly, focus on unconscious biases. Often industries do not intend to but unknowingly showcase unfairness while putting out job postings. Companies should make it a point that the hiring processes do not unconsciously promote or send messages regarding gender biasness, as it might give a false impression pertaining to the fact that the firm supports male staff or discourages women participation.
Secondly, expand work-life policies. The policy of allowing flexible work hours and arrangements for women who might be juggling other responsibilities at the same time, like childcare or pregnancy, should be adopted by the companies. This gives women the chance to simultaneously handle multiple jobs in a better and a less stressful manner.
Include women in the hiring process. So, if women employees should be given a chance to be a part of the interview sessions and hiring processes to remove the stereotype of a male dominated workforce. Apart from this, giving women representative positions in the firm can motivate more females to come forward and increase their interest in joining the firm. We believe such small yet important steps taken by the industries can make a difference to a great extent. With this, the percentage of women who would willingly want to give interviews and be a part of the companies would easily increase.
Going forward, I know that most families believe in this myth that working women might not be able to spend enough time with their children, therefore hindering their growth. To understand more on this topic, we read up a research article and here's a gist. Yes, mothers who work full time do not spend much time with their children, but they tend to trade quantity of time for better quality time. On an average, maternal work has no effect on time in activities that positively influence children's development, but it reduces time in types of activities that might be detrimental to the child's growth. They also find that children with college educated mothers spend more time on educational activities as well structured activities which require children to be actively engaged with their parents.
So, when comparing the effect of maternal employment on children between stay at home mothers and mothers who work full time, we see that the reduction in unstructured time amounts to an improvement in children's cognitive development. And for children under age 6, the improvement is larger. So, generally speaking, maternal employment appears to have a positive effect on children's cognitive development, clearing the myth.
Now coming to how did we, as a part of DSC VIT and Women Tech Makers, contribute as a community. Most of us might be aware of Google's initiative, Women Tech Makers. It has already gained a lot of recognition by providing visibility, community, and resources to uplift women. Our vision as members of DSC VIT is to help every student as a developer while we provide all the resources needed that might come in handy in their journey of progress. Shedding light on how we contributed to the cause, we will now talk on Women Techies, our annual flagship event.
So, as a student community, we have been organizing Women Techies, a 24-hour long hackathon at VIT Vellore to bring in more women into tech. The recent one was organized on the 8th and 9th of March 2020, and the results were overwhelming. This 24-hour hackathon aimed to provide talented and motivated girls the platform and the resources to help them grow in their desired field and contribute to the society.
We had a criteria that mentioned a minimum requirement of 50% female participation in each team. This was in order to ensure and promote the girls in the field of tech. We also had our tech team to guide them and mentor them throughout the hack. The journey that started off with the girls being completely unaware of what a hackathon is all about, to them coming up with functional, well-developed projects of their own, gave us immense pleasure.
So we have been organizing Women Techies for the past 2 years with the goal to encourage and facilitate the participation of women in the tech space and have received an overwhelming response each time.
Coming to a conclusion, we see that many recruiters are quick to blame the lack of women in tech or less female talent in the world, when actually not just the girls, but the society and the circumstances are largely to be blamed.
Teaching more girls and women to code is not enough to solve this problem. says Rachel Thomas. If tech culture is going to change, everyone needs to change, especially men and most especially leaders. This was a step we took to support the cause. As a leader in your organization, we hope you will be at the front line of that change.
That's all from our side. Thank you for joining our session. Hope you will get a better insight on the current scenario and are willing to be the front line of that change. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Saloni and Manorama. I'm sure your insights have been useful for people watching this, and it is going to go far and wide to audience creator and beyond. Now we have something for you which has been on fire in the live comment section right now. Yes, the surprise is finally out. We have a session, not a session anymore, a fun section hosted by Ritik, and it will be a surprise of beatboxing. So over to you, Ritik.
Hi. So I guess I'll just get straight into beatboxing and drop a freestyle for all of you. Okay, so now I have 5 different sounds for you. First one. Second. Third. Fourth. Fifth. Now all of them together. Five. Time to go supersonic black. Thank you everyone for listening to this, and I hope you enjoyed.
Thanks, Ritik. That is perfectly called the OMG moment, and it couldn't have been better for day 5 of DSC OMG gathering. And now we'll go back to the quiz that we've left midway the last time. We have with us Naveen once again. He'll be continuing the quiz, and we expect the same participation as before. Thanks.
Right. Thank you so much, Rajrita. Guys, so we're back, and so some while back we had an issue over the Kahoot thing because there was a delay. So I've just we've just put it up on a different platform on Google Slides. So I will just share the screen for you guys, and you can just take a look and put the answers in the comments below. So let me just share the screen. Right. Hope you guys can see it. So let's start again. So the first one, what is the name of the first social networking site that was launched in the internet in 1994? So you have 4 options. Waiting for the answers. A lot of Orkut, MSN. All right, I think we have someone who gave the answer. Let's see if someone more can, find the right answer before we move on to the next one. Okay. All right. So the right answer is GeoCities, as Senthil Kumar said. That is right, GeoCities. So let's move on to the next one. So how many characters did Twitter originally restrict users to? Is it 90, 230, 140, 299? To be honest, I'm not really sure of what is the character limit right now. Like we just tweet. Let's see. Okay. Some says 140, 290. Okay. Waiting for more to come in. Okay. Okay. School. So let's see the right answer. So the right one is 140. And yeah, Shubham said it. So that's the right answer, guys. So it had a restriction of 140. So the next one. What was the first ever doodle that came from Google? Any idea? I guess you'd be like huge. We are all huge fans of Google Doodles, right? Like a lot of different things come up, so colorful. It reminds us of all the old memories. So what do you think is the first one? Are you guys Googling out what is the first one? Because we'll be quickly moving on if you don't answer. So let's quickly try that. Okay. All right. I could see some right answers. Okay, right. So the correct answer is Burning Man Festival. So I think Shivam again said it right. Not sure. I think, yeah, it's Senthil Kumar who said it right. So awesome, Senthil. So let's move on to the next one. What product did Amazon first start out selling? Is it smart home devices? Is it basics, Amazon basics? Or is it movies? Or is it books? Let's see this time who gets it right. Okay. I could see some answers. Okay. A lot of books. A lot of people say books. Okay. Let's see what's the right answer. It is books, guys. It is books. So right. I think Pradeep Singh got it right. So the answer is books. Awesome. So let's just go on. We'll go on to the next one. So this one. In 2013, Google announced a new line of Chromebooks. And what is the name of the Chromebook? The series. Any idea? Nexus Book, Slate, Pixel, Pixel Book. Let's see. I think you guys are like Googling out, like checking it on Google right now, I think. Don't cheat. Don't cheat on this, guys. Let's just see how much we are aware of technology. Okay. Someone says Pixel Book, some says Nexus Book. Okay. Let's see the right answer. It is Pixel. So in 2013, Google came out with a variant of Chromebook called as a Chromebook Pixel, and that is the right answer. So a lot of people have given the answer in this searching. Who got that one? Yes, Pradeep got it again right. So the next one, how many search queries did Google Beta provide per day? So this is years back, like, like 10, 20, 30 years back, I guess, somewhere around 70s, 80s. Let's see if anyone has got the answers. Is it 500, 50,000, 10,000, 80,000? What do you guys think? I'm not sure, like, I don't know, could be 80,000, or could it be as less as 500? Well, let's just find out. It is 10,000. So initially when Google had their servers launched, they were able to, provide 10,000 search queries per day. So that is the right answer. So let's move on. And so before Google search engine was made available to the public, that is, before it was launched, what was it called before? Is it Finder? Is it Backrub, Backlinks, Echo Pages? Any guesses? Okay. I could see some people say Backrub, some people say Echo Pages. Let's find out. Okay. So the answer is Backrub. So most of you have got it right. Congrats and kudos to you guys. So it was called Backrub before it was actually called Google. And the next one for you. So what is Francis Chollet known for? Is he known for Amazon? Is he known for Keras, Ethereum, eBay? Any guesses? Is it kind of tough for you guys? You can see someone say Keras, someone say Ethereum. Okay. Let's just find out. And yes. So Francis Chollet was known for Keras. He is one of the primary authors and the current maintainer of Keras. Well said, right? Correct, Shwam, you're right. So you got it right at the first go. Awesome. So next one. Google had its office under the Palo Alto network for the office for a while. Is it true or false? Probably if you kind of know about Google's history, you would know about it. Okay. True, false, false, true. Let's find out. Okay. So the answer is true. So Google was initially, after the first series of all the venture fundings, it was under Palo Alto Mobile. And so that is right. Senthil, you got it right. So last one for you guys. Who made YouTube? I know, like, if it's a very straightforward question, was it by former Microsoft employees? Was it by Google really? Or by former PayPal or Netflix employees? Who did it? Let's check out. Any answers from you guys? Okay, I can see Google. Okay. Right. Okay, so let's just find out the answer. So it is former PayPal employees. So I think someone also got it right again over here. Let me just check out. Varun Teja got it right. So former PayPal employees did the YouTube before Google acquired YouTube. So that's the right answer. And we come to the end of the quiz for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. So let's move on.
Thank you so much, Naveen, for the quiz. I am sure the audience has enjoyed it thoroughly for the day 5 as they have for the remaining last day 4 days that they've had. And also, quick shout out to you. Naveen is the person behind forming all of these quizzes and having the audience enjoy DSC OMG thoroughly. So, again, a huge shout out to you and thank you for being the man behind this job.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rakita.
With that in mind, we now sign off with DSC OMG. It has rightly been an online mega gathering, as the name suggests, with people joining in from all around the world. Thank you for your love and support. This has been a success, and it has been because of you, the audience, and also for every member behind the OMG team for their work, support, untiring efforts all throughout these 4 days and even before that. With that in mind, stay awesome, stay safe, and thank you for being a part with us.